But I've had nothing but a wonderful experience with central casting with half of you guys in this room. Like, you know, you guys, I mean, you're like family to me. Much love, you know, much love to all of you. I know I miss you too. But I just look forward to work on shows when I know it's central casting, you know, so you put a very important, vital part of our job and the actual show's outcome of success and look and everything. So I was given a couple of things to just bring up, and I'll just rattle them off. And afterwards, if you have any questions, I'm totally open. I will tell you the truth. You know, if you want to hear it, I'll tell you the truth, or I'll smooth it out to ease it answers. So somebody asked, you know, one of the questions was what makes a great casting agent? And I always felt attentiveness, you know, answer your phone. I know you guys have a million shows, but when I feel like when I'm dealing with you guys, I know that I feel like I'm the only show, you know what I mean, that you guys are doing, because you're just attentive, and, you know, you don't keep me on hold for 9 minutes, you know, listening to that wonderful music. And you answer your emails when you can, but I know you guys are working here just as long as I'm on a set, so we get it. We get it that you've got like 10 shows, 5 shows, 8 shows, and you're here till midnight, and meanwhile I'm sleeping or something like that. So we all get that, so it's just one of those things. Send picture requests quickly is one of the key things that I think that I've noticed that producers and directors and first ADs notice. Wow, we got the pictures already? It's like all of a sudden you got a gold star and you just started the show, so that's a good way to, and I know you have to clear to make sure people are available and stuff like that, but if you get those pictures quickly, I noticed that they're like, oh, that's great, and all of a sudden they know your name all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. You stand out when you nail the photo doubles or featured background. You know, when we ask for something, that's because everybody else that's something that they really have to notice. So when you nail those two things, you almost get a gold star, and you're like, okay, I want Elena, or I want Jeff, or I want Marianne on my next show. All of a sudden you become an instant, you know, favorite, you know, that type thing. Having a good attitude is always good, because I might be grumpy, stressed out. I know you guys are too. So, but I mean, just having a good idea, you know, good attitude, you know, on the other side of the phone, you're like, crazy, you know. No problem, we'll get you that. And you're like, I'm gonna be here till 4 in the morning. She's such a wench, you know. But just, you know, if you give us the idea that we're not giving you any grief, that helps us. And then we'll probably call back, we're sorry, okay, whatever you can do. You know, that type thing is what usually happens. Sending good background, I know it's a crap shot because you have such a huge volume of people. But as you get to know your background, I think it helps, because then you know who to send for those. That wardrobe person only likes this kind of, you know what I mean, or that, you know, you start, as you get doing your job for a while, you kind of start knowing what certain shows like and don't like, and certain background that they tend to gravitate to and don't gravitate to, so that's important. I would have a pool of people in your arsenal that they're your go-to. You know, things like people with nice hands. You know, that's huge. Nice hands, gangbangers, because that's popular. Good cops, classic cars, people that can look very sophisticated, diplomatic, because those are harder things to cast. Good drivers, you know, and not necessarily precision drivers, but people that can take direction and don't show up with a jalopy car. And I just need a new muffler, I was going to do it tomorrow, you know, that type thing. You'd be amazed. You're just like, it's a call of a car, oh my God. But it's okay, but that hasn't happened to me recently, but you know, once in a while it happens. You know, you can't control it, it just happens. Especially people with nice wardrobe. That is probably one of the biggest things that I hear on a show is wardrobe. And I know most people can't afford things. You know, we're all on limited budgets, but if you can figure out a way to help them be creative and how to, within their budget to get, clothes, so their arsenal is a little more wider than 2 shirts every day, the same 2. Because after a while, the wardrobe people go, and they're wearing the same clothes that they wore in the last episode type thing. But they're not like they're complaining, but they notice it because that's their job. So if you can teach your background or find background that encourage them to have that wider wardrobe, they might work a little more often, especially if they make your wardrobe people happy, which makes your AD happy, which makes, you their favorite to work all the time with them. Once you work with somebody for a while, you know their flow, and it makes your job hopefully a little more enjoyable. I know I can speak for myself when I'm not working with people that I know or worked with in the past. It's just like, another person they have to understand how I am, you know what I mean? So, but when they know you, you can roll with the punches. It's like working with your friends on a daily basis. So, and it makes your job easier, especially when you're stressed out and they're asking for belly dancers at 4 in the afternoon. You're like, what? You know what I mean? That type thing. I know we wish you guys were always available to us at 7 in the morning when we're up and at 'em, and you guys don't come in till 10. And I know you work till midnight because we finally released the call. We get that. But I noticed that a couple casting agents that have gone out of their way to kind of be a little more accessible has helped get answers. And I noticed that my first ADs notice that, and they tend to calm down in their nervousness, and they tend to respond quicker to things that you guys need. And so it's weird. It's like a little shift in their attitude will make your job easier. I don't know how to explain it, but when an instance happens like that, it makes your job easier. You don't think it's like the ripple effect. So keep that in mind. I would get good, especially the newbies. I would get good at really knowing the working actors out there. Like, if you have to just, like, on your downtime or do some homework, like once a week, I'm going to figure out 3 of Netflix shows and the actors on those shows, and somehow just when you're bored, go through IMDb and clips of them so you get familiar with the way they look and walk, and this is just little things that's going to make you that much better of a casting director. So if I'm looking for, Aaron Paul, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's the guy from that. But then you're like, oh, I know that he's this tall and he looks this way and his nose is this kind of thing, and his hands, or he's a right-handed. You start learning little things like that. It'll make it easier for you to find the right person. And when they have these classes and these orientations, I know you're very busy, but scan the room. You know what I mean? See if you see somebody that you like and kind of peg them, at least know their name, so when you just make it go faster. And the quicker you guys find somebody, the quicker I get it, the quicker, they'll just make you look that much better. Get ways to get to know us, to build bonds, I think, is set visits. I know you probably never get to go anywhere, but if you can come to the set to visit us, even on your off time, even after work, on a day like we're on stage or something, just to say hello, and then say hello to the first. I'm telling you, break that little barrier there, and makes a world of difference, because when you walk out the room, I hear it all. Somehow seconds know everybody's secrets, It's that and a makeup artist. We know everybody's secrets, so we kind of find their flow. So just little things like that could help. Extracurricular activities, I've been very fortunate that you've allowed me to join you in some of your sporting events and concerts, and I appreciate that. And it allows me on a more relaxed environment to get to know you guys and be friends, lunch, coffee. But I know you're busy, but I know those little things, if you get to know a couple ADs, when they go on a show and they're like, who do you know at Central? Oh, boom, you say a name. Okay, see if they're available, type thing. And it'll make it easier than working with a bunch of jerks all the time. Leave the jerks for somebody else. You know what I mean? And good ways to learn. I don't know if you can even do this, but I would say attending other casting agents' production meetings and casting meetings. I don't know how other shows are. I know I would be fine with it. But like, for example, when Kristen and Mary Ann were in a casting meeting with the director and the producers, and you all of a sudden, you find their flow, because everybody's got a different personality, and you're like, okay, he's gonna be like that. And then just being in that room, all of a sudden, I mean, like Mary Ann nails AJ and the Queen all the time with Kristen. You know, they just know. And they were so happy day one with the way the background looks. So I'm wondering if you guys can somehow see if, especially new ones, can attend those meetings, just quietly sit in the back and just say, oh, I'm just taking notes, you know, for them. And just see how the casting directors talk to them, and how some directors are just crazy, some of them are nice, and some of them are, you know, producers that are 12 are telling you what to do. And you're just like, okay. It's like, you have no clue, but anyway, you're my boss. All right, I can deal with you. But that might be a good way to learn. And then there are I just wanted to let you know complaints from other departments on the set. It's not even complaints. It's the grumblings that you get. And it's the usual things that you probably know. It's like, you know, hearing the director, I thought I said, now this doesn't necessarily happen on my shows, but I know it happens. You know, it's like, the director's like, I thought I said I wanted a Spanish person on the da-da-da-da, or something like that. Or the wardrobe person says, you know, the clothes, or they don't bring it, or they don't return them, or it's wrinkled, or something like that. And then makeup and hair will say, camera's not ready. I mean, they're not camera ready, or they're not quite the look, you know, I thought we were looking for, blah, blah, blah. And that's not necessarily, you know, their thing, but they're all in everybody's business when it comes to that. And crafty, the usual eating too much. But, you know, I get it. They're making, you know, they're not making a lot of money, and, you know, they're bored, and, you know, they're eating, the food's out there, so I get that. And then Grip and Electric sometimes say to me, like, the background, plugging in their phones everywhere, you know, in the jock boxes and stuff like that. And camera, I noticed they're like, I'll hear the ACs say, oh, she's nice. You know what I mean? I think they like easy looking, easy on the eye stand-ins that know what they're doing. So it makes them happy. I noticed the camera department's all happy, and, you know, when there's stand-ins there that are kind of easy on the eyes. Not to be, you know, you cast who you have to cast, but they don't say anything, you know. It's just, I noticed that their temperament's a little different when there's, you know, whatever, you know, not necessarily what you have to do. But one of the things, I keep coming back to picture requests. That's a good first way of making a really good impression on especially when you're starting off a show, is to get into as quickly as possible, because it makes you look good. I know what you have to do to get them, and I know you got 8 other shows to deal with, but you'll probably get your picture pick choices quicker because it's still fresh in their mind, you know. And then, you know, because once the directors start shooting, they don't, you know, they're not thinking. And I would continue to encourage background to attend all your classes, even if they don't want to be stand-ins. You know, just all these classes, because you'll get to know them better, they'll get to know you better. And I think the better they are, the better you guys look, the better Central looks, you know, and all of a sudden we're all working together and stuff like that. And what I love about some of the casting directors that I've worked with in the past is that Brad, when I did ER, he was like a mind reader. I mean, he knew exactly what people wanted. He was photo doubling people that hadn't even started working yet, because they had to be in the background as patients. He just knew, you know, actors, and he could peg their look. I mean, I could say I need Angelina Jolie, you know, from Tomb Raider kind of person. All of a sudden Angelina Jolie from Tomb Raider comes walking in the door next morning. You're like, how does he do that? You know, it's like you learn how to the dialogue of your AD, you know, when they describe something, because my read is not the same as your read. But if you can find out how they click, that will help make your job a whole lot easier and stuff like that. Like I said, Kristen and Mary Ann, you guys working on AJ and the Queen from day one. Boy, you guys, I had never in a long time experienced a department that was so edgy. All of a sudden, like, wow, the background looks great. Oh my gosh, this looks great. Like instantly, and they're so crabby, and they were very happy. So that's like it was a recent example, and you guys had that confidence in that in that meeting where they were like so worried about it, and then when after the meeting they're like, okay, cool, well, we'll see you tomorrow, you know, and then all of a sudden you delivered. So it was all in those meetings that you do. They're watching everything because they're in there nervous if they don't know you. But if you come into your casting meeting confident, like you guys do, you know, I think they notice that stuff. So just a little tip. Lana, you know, you're like a friend to me, and you know, and I feel like when I work with you, you're like only dealing with me. I feel like there's no other show around. You know what I mean? Even though I know she's going, she keeps talking. You gotta do another show. But you know, you answer all my questions. You, even if there's stupid phone calls, you know, you guys, you know, I appreciate that as an AD, that you take the calls even though they're dumb. Just it puts us at mind, and then like little by little we calm down. We're usually just stressed out, and they're asking for the world, and you're pulling things out of your behind. But anyway, now you know, you guys are working for the best casting company, I think, in the business. You may not feel it because you work here all the time, every day. But I'm telling you, I did it. You know, I day play on shows a lot when I'm not working, and they have other. You know, once in a blue moon, I come across another casting company, and it's just not the same. You know what I mean? It starts off with no printed vouchers, and then no skins, and we have to call the background to find out where they are. And the skins are not even in alphabetical order, so I'm spending 10 minutes going through. It's like crazy. I'm serious. It's dumb. But anyway, so I'm telling you, it's just dumb. But then you guys have such a wonderful group of background pool. I mean, we can ask for some crazy things, but I know it's all about you guys finding them. You know, you can have $1 million, but if you don't know how to spend it or find it or whatever, like you guys, then we're not going to get what we're going to need. So you guys are critical. And in closing, I just want to say that ADs do appreciate you guys. We know that each of us has a very stressful job, but you know, working together as a team makes a world of difference. I mean, they can't get their Oscars and their Emmys and their Cleos without you. You're a huge part of the look of a film and of a TV show. Like seriously, if you really think about it, yeah, I mean, you could paint a wall blue, but if you don't put the right person in front of it, and there are only like 5 actors, you're doing everybody else. So it's so important what you do. So don't ever feel like you're, oh, you know what I mean? No, I just know that you are appreciated, and just keep working hard, keep striving to learn something new each and every day. You know, if ADs are calling you and they're all stressed out and making you feel like you're not doing your job, just shrug it off. They're probably getting it from their boss, and they're just, you know, emulating it on someone that's not in front of them. So we apologize if we do that, but just don't let anybody steal your joy. You know, we're only making a movie. You know what I mean? Just do what you can is all we ask, and have fun with it. You know, if you can, just get to know a bunch of ADs, because I think it'll make your job a little more enjoyable when you're working with someone that you know. You know what I mean? Are there any questions that I can answer for you, or anything like that? There's got to be something. Yeah, go ahead.
Who do you answer to? Like, who is telling you to call Central? And
it's usually the first AD. You know, he'll after we have the extras casting meeting. You know, because I'll come in and they have a tone meeting already, and then the second AD will come in after they've already been working on the, you know, prepping the show, and then it's after that, and then the first AD will talk to me after we've done a scout, and they'll say, okay, we'll need this many this and this many that, and then in that casting meeting, really the first AD and the second and the casting director is finding out, oh, he wants that kind of person, you know, that type thing, you know what I mean? So but it's usually the first AD telling the seconds what to do, usually. Some first are bored or lazy, and they'll just tell the second to do it. So yes.
Can you explain why maybe some days you would release a prelim at maybe 10 in the morning versus 5 o'clock versus 8 o'clock?
Gotcha. I grew up where before computers, and I had to do the prelim and the call sheet on pencil and paper before a lot of you were born. And so, and we didn't have PAs on the set, so I literally had to sit on the set, do the call sheet, turn it in, so they can run it to Kinko's, and so I had to be on set. So I got used to early on to get the prelim out early, but it really depends on the show. I've been on a show where they didn't put out the prelim until like 45 minutes before we wrapped, because they wanted it to be perfect before we tell anybody anything. And then I was on a show the other day where they're like, put the prelim out. I'm like, okay, here you go. You know what I mean? So it really depends on the producers and the UPMs. They kind of, hold on to it into blessing everything before they tell people. They're afraid, like, if we tell them, then they're going to have it. Then they're going to want it all the time. And we don't have the money for 500 extras. And then, 300 extras. And then all of a sudden we need 20. Because the budget is cut. So it's usually, the first place that they cut, I kid you not, is the background. It's so stupid. And then they wonder why, we just saw that person. And you're like, dude, if you had given me another 15 background, you wouldn't see that person in every scene. So it's seriously, it's usually the director or UPM or producer that's really truly holding. First AD, some of them are picky about looking at it, but most of them don't care. Most of them don't care. It's usually UPM is controlling. But then again, there are some key seconds that I've noticed when I'm day playing. They don't get their prelim out until like 4 and 5. I'm like, holy mackerel. And I've been in that position, but it stresses me out. I usually am in the interview. I say, I like to get my prelim out right at crew call. I don't tell them that I try to send a pre-pre the night before, so at least you have a clue of what's going to happen. But I know, but it depends on the AD. Hopefully you get an AD that gets it to you sooner, because by the time they give it to you, all the good people are gone. So and I know that. So I don't know what to tell you, except I sometimes when I day play, I don't get my call time until like 7 at night, and I'm like texting him, am I still working today? Tomorrow rather? Oh yeah. I'm like, oh okay. All right. I'm so nervous about it. I like to tell people way in advance. So yeah, but it's usually what I had mentioned. It's the UPMs most likely that's holding up the prelim release. So maybe you could sweet talk your AD to sneak you a copy. That's another relationship thing. Or, Molly, can you tell me what's going to happen next Thursday? Oh, yeah, they're saying 300, but between you and me, it'll probably be 150. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That time, but at least helps you out, So get to know your ADs. They'll tell you. They'll blab. They'll blab. Yeah.
What's the relationship like between the AD department and the wardrobe department?
It's sometimes pretty good, but they're the most off the, without bad mouthing anybody, they're the department that I feel is the most fidgety, that and crafty. Like, I'm like, dude, it's I tell them, I'm like, they make $67 an hour. I mean, a day. They don't have money for freaking whatevers, So, I rarely have met a costume department that wasn't a little left of center. They're lovely girls when you're not talking about work, but ooh, yeah. And the craft service guys, they're fine. It's just, it really depends on their budget. Because sometimes the mean ones, when they have money, then they're fine. Okay, let the background eat. It's no problem. They'll never say anything bad. It's the ones that are like, they don't have money for anything, and then, then they get nervous about the background. But it just depends, I think, on their circumstance. Mm-hmm. Come on, you got something.
You're so good, you covered so much.
Oh, no, look at you. Pay your 20 later. That's cool. Yeah.
Another question. So for picture picks, generally, are you, you request them on behalf of someone else?
Yes.
And then, sometimes they don't, sometimes they'll pick them really quickly, and they'll say, here's my picture picks, and sometimes we have to keep following up
Yeah.
on it. Why is that usually a hold up?
It's usually like sometimes the director's so busy. It depends on the director. Like the older ones, they're experienced, and they'll be like that. I usually print out, like when you send me the pictures, I print them out. I 3-hole punch them. I put them in a binder with tabs. You know this, and I bring with a Sharpie, and I'm like, here, pick it out. And then they're like, and it's like school. Ooh, they're nice. You know, they're like they're bullies. They circle everybody, you know, it's like, ugh. It's so crazy. One very important thing is, like, one time I needed a picture of, like, a thug, you know? Give me a thug. So they sent me a picture of a guy like this, right? But he's perfect. But he was smiling. And they're like, oh, it's all wrong. I'm like, so just tell the guy to send a picture again, but make him frown. Same guy. Sent the picture, as God is my witness. Like, he's perfect. I'm like, it's the same guy. It's the same guy. For creative people, they're not creative at all. They cannot think. You literally have to show it to them. If they're asking for a picture, you call Joanne. Go right now, get a selfie of you. Just look like a homeless person. You have 5 minutes. Get it to me. All right, and no, I'm telling you, the first person that gets the selfies, tell your people to have their camera stop what they're doing, take the picture of their hand, put lotion on, take a picture of their hand. You know what I mean? They can get the job the quicker they do it. I'm telling you, these photo pics, all of a sudden, they're like, this person's really good. I love Central. And then they're telling their UPM, oh, Central's amazing. And they're like, okay, I'm going to book Central no matter what my budget is on my next project. Because they think they're saving money by going for somebody else other than Central. But I tell every single show I'm on that doesn't have Central, I'm like, oh, so bringing in 4 PAs and an AD 2 hours before call to pre-write the vouchers is saving you money? I'm sitting there writing everybody's name in the dark, in the cold, and the production company, this with that, because of no pre-printed. Something as simple as that. And then I'm the one that's calling Joanne, where are you? How's that saving you money? I'm losing time. I'm not on set. That's why you guys are one of many reasons why you guys are working for an amazing company. Take advantage of it, learn from your guys that have been around the block a while, and you're going to go far. You're going to go very far. Yes?
Can you talk a little bit about what would make you not request a casting director again? You know, I know you work like a lot with Jeff. What is the one thing he would do if you didn't have a relationship with him? If you're working with somebody new, what would be the one thing that a casting director could do that, you know, you go to your next project, like, I love Central, but I can't work with Jeff?
All right, that would be me guessing, because I have been actually, honestly, very pleased with every single person that I've ever worked with. Everybody has their unique way of dealing with me as an AD, and they've all been fabulous. So I haven't experienced that. But what I would assume somebody would feel is they're just not calling me back, or they're not giving. My first AD is, so whatever it is that they're asking you to do, if you're not doing it in a timely way, and I know you can't do 10 things at the same time, so I get that, trust me, hear me out, is you gotta let them feel like you're their favorite. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. I've just been very pleased with everybody, so I really don't know. Everybody's got their unique ways of approaching things. Some people I don't have to speak as much. Sometimes when I've worked with you more than a couple times, then I don't even have to say, did you call them back? Did you call them? I'll be like, I know they got it. You know what I mean? I get that confidence level, like, oh, they got it. I'm not going to bug them anymore. But if I bug you, it's just because you're my whoopee blanket. You're the only person that understands me. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So, are there any other questions? I'm an open book. Yeah, go ahead.
Just for advice purposes for everyone, how would you as an AD want, say you want picture pics for something and the director hasn't given you any direction on what they're really looking for, and knowing that it's going to be 100 times more work for us on our end if it's like, I don't know, they'll know it when they see it.
Yeah.
How would you prefer us to like finesse it with them to say, great, I need a description for this. How old do you want them? What ethnicity? Like, is there an actor that you
Yeah.
can think of? You know, have you seen it in a movie elsewhere? Like, how would you want us to finesse something like that?
That actually helps. Everything that you just said, because a lot of times the directors they tell me, we don't know until you see it, and then I give them somebody like Elena, and then they're like, no, I want the blonde girl with the green sweater, and you're like, but why didn't you tell me in the first place? So having a dialogue with a second, hey, can you find out? I mean, what's the scene about? Where are they? Oh, they're in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm like, click, okay. She looks more like she's from Iowa. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you're talking to us, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna make sense to you and makes no particular, sense to me. Like saying Iowa to, oh, they're from Iowa. We're shooting in Iowa, Nebraska, and you're like, okay, that just eliminates 90% of the people I was originally going to send you, and without me even knowing that I'm telling you something key. So asking us questions, trying to read the script. The production meetings are kind of boring for you guys because it's 3 hours and there's only like one thing that you need to find out about. But sometimes in the production meetings, if you just look at the personality of the director and how he's talking, that will probably tell you a lot about what he or she might be looking for in that thing. But asking questions, just be an interviewer, have a little thing, okay, like the age range, where is it, what time of year, because sometimes that eliminates all your tan people, all your bodybuilders are not can't do that, that type of thing. It's just little things like that. But a lot of times it's like pulling teeth. I'm like, I have no idea. As soon as I know, I'll let you know, type thing. But then we forget because we're doing 10 other things, and just keep hounding us. You'll find your way of getting to talk to us. Did I answer your question, Elena?
Yes.
Yeah, because you covered it in the question. You're see how thorough she is? See how thorough she is? Thank you.
Sometimes I just talk a lot.
No, you and me both, baby. Hi.
In
What's your name?
theory, you guys would like us to be at
What's
all
your name?
meetings. Shannon.
Shannon, hi.
Hi. But would you prefer us to be at the concept meeting or the production meeting more?
I don't care as long as, what helps, what I like about when you guys come is then you can see my first AD. I'm like, see what we're gonna deal with for the next 6 months. You know what I mean? And then you can hear how they talk. And when they talk, you can understand the way they're describing something. So production meetings are boring. I don't know. I think, what's the most important meeting is if a show does a background meeting,
Right.
Yeah.
where it's just you guys in a room with the director and whoever muckety muck then wants to make a decision, and then you guys, then you could sit there and you just get specific on the episode or on the thing. So that's the best meeting if they can do it. I mean, screw the production meeting, but I understand, because all of a sudden you learn, oh, we're going to be outside at 3 a.m. Molly did not say that. I better make sure I tell the background, bobbity bobbity blah. So you get what you put it. Go in there. You'll always learn something. But I know you'd rather be in here casting than sitting in a room for 3 hours and then in traffic, and then all of a sudden you're going to work till 3 a.m. to finish booking a show because we wasted your time.
Not
So
if they feed us.
I know if they feed you. I know I've been fed pretty well in the last 20 years. But anyway, yeah, I think the best meeting is the one I mentioned, which is just the plain old background meeting. You just get to know our flow. But I don't know. It's up to you guys. Know best what you would really need.
Can I add to your answer then?
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone knows, the difference between a concept meeting and a production meeting, but for background purposes, if you're not having a background meeting, you're probably better off going to concept, because then you have like a week and a half before the episode starts. I mean, by the time you hit the production meeting,
It's too late.
You're the day before it's shooting.
Yeah.
You should already know what you need to know. You're just showing face.
Especially on a period show.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Period show, by the time you're at a production meeting, you've already fit half for all of the
Yeah.
background that are working anyways. Concept, you're gonna find out what the whole show is about. But for you guys, I mean, it would be better, if you have productions that are saying you have to be at a meeting, then you should talk to your ADs and say, is there a possibility for us to have an extras meeting?
Yeah.
because that's gonna be more relative to what I'm doing. And then that way, you don't have to go to a production meeting where, you know, they spend 2 hours talking about, you know, camera setup.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it has
and
nothing to
yeah,
do
when you
with
get
the-
assigned for the show and you're getting to know the second, like right off the bat, can we have a BG meeting? Can you set up, because the second AD usually sets up the BG meetings. You know, they find it in the schedule where they have a half an hour, and the director just goes where they tell him to go. Oh, you gotta go to a prop meeting now. Oh, you gotta go to a effects meeting now. So he goes wherever, but if you could plant the seed.
Yeah, in the
would be good.
background meeting, you're gonna get all the people that you need to talk to anyways. They'll have a wardrobe person there, they'll have your second AD, your first AD, and the director.
They might even have a
Everybody there.
writer.
Yeah, and a writer, which is good because their head, sometimes they don't say anything. Oh no, what I was looking for is this. I'm like, why didn't you mention it earlier? You know, so that's the best meeting. Plant the seed, because not all productions do that. That's very important. I'd like to attend the concept meeting if possible. I'd like to attend, let's do a quick background meeting. I only need a half an hour. I only need 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Take all the time you need, because once you got them, you got them. You just have all your questions ready to go in case they don't answer.
They don't feed us in the background.
I know.
Kitchen.
You have
They'll walk through the
soda,
kitchen and they'll offer.
La Croix,
Oh,
4
yeah.
flavors of La Croix, or however you say that. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, what's your
My
name?
name is Kate.
Hi, Kate. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I kind of, this is dealing with picture pics.
Yeah.
So, being relatively new and
Mm-hmm.
building relationships, I know can go a long way. But my first question is, obviously I can see where they need some picture pics, where it makes complete sense. Like, you want to pick out these kind of features.
Yeah.
When the requests start coming of like, we want to picture pick people in like a movie theater, where you're kind of like,
Dude.
is there a way, is it kind of a thing though where like, I just kind of suck it up and do it? Or is
Just
there a
suck
way
it
to
up.
pleasantly say, really?
Yeah. You can say really to the second AD who's talking to you, really, when you have the, but yeah, because trust me, when they say, yeah, we want to picture pick the movie people, I'm like, really? They're in the dark. Their backs are to the camera. I tell that right to the first AD's face. But we have to picture pick the movie people. I don't know why. Maybe people in Des Moines, Iowa are different than people in LA's movie theater. And maybe they know something from a tone meeting that the actor's going to come and sit amidst a group of blank-looking people. And then you're like, oh, but you haven't gotten that information yet. But you know what's interesting? Like, I've been on some shows like Shondaland. They like to picture pick everything. What? And let me tell you, that background looks fabulous, and I don't hear any complaints, and they're all happy. It's a pain in the bottom for you guys and for me, because I have to do these picture pics and with you guys, and it takes too much time when you, all you have to just tell me how many people you need, what you need, you know. But just do it. Suck it. That's going to be one of the bummer parts of your job, is wasting time doing that. But somehow it makes them happy, and if it makes them happy, all of a sudden their creativity soars, and next thing you know, they're in the Oscars thanking you for the background casting that you have done. Yeah.
I'm Jimmy. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
Jimmy.
Piggybacking on the lovely picture pics.
Yeah.
We've run into issues, I know I have a lot of our shows, where we're going through multiple rounds and we're then getting to old photos of people who either look different or don't really take it as serious as much as they should, and then they end up no showing or canceling. And these are the, you know, they put their heart and soul into these picture pics.
Yeah. Just between you and me,
Yeah.
off the record, turn off the camera. When you get to that point, just find somebody who looks just like the person they probably won't even know. But make sure you're honest with your second AD. Just say, hey, that person dropped out. I'm going to give you somebody who looks just like them. Okay, no problem. Send me a picture. Oh, perfect. Shh. Okay, it's our secret. Okay, now you can turn on the camera. Now you can turn on the camera. But Elaine, your senior casting people will give you really good advice on how to handle that. But it's like, you know how it is. I see it on the set every day. There's always one that's a little okay, that's, you know, but it's all right, you know, it's all right, you know, so, and that, yeah, you know, like the other day, I was,
with no thumb.
oh yeah, yeah,
You were so nice.
It was on the catch, yeah?
yeah, I was on the catch.
And then you said, you know, noticed her because she was.
Yeah, yeah,
You were
she was
so
cast
cute.
without, I know, it was so sweet.
She wasn't a hand double, it was fine.
Yeah, I know it.
And then
I
Molly,
know.
remember I told you how she had her hand in her pocket?
Yes.
Photo?
Yes.
Hiding her thumb?
Yeah.
No thumb?
Yeah.
Wait, she was missing which finger?
I can't remember. There was I don't even remember the situation.
Looking at her phone like
Shonda Land
this.
is very
Oh yeah, it was a person was cast and we didn't know,
Yeah,
you know, but she had her hands in her pocket,
Yeah.
and I guess she had to do something on camera, and we noticed that she didn't have certain phalanges,
And then Molly called me.
and I'm like, and I don't know if it was something for something
No,
specific.
she lost her phone.
Oh, it was
So
something,
nice.
but anyway, you know, so you get all kinds of people you don't even sometimes realize who you're sending. So, getting to know the people little by little, you know, somehow, however you guys do it, helps you. And it's no big deal. I mean, she just didn't have thumbs. Who cares? You know, whatever it was. You know, but it was, you know, it is what it is. She got to work. She got to pay her bills. Might as well.
Molly could have not cared and let that
Yeah.
phone sit there.
Yeah, but she was
I mean,
good.
Molly went out of her way. She called me. It was that, and she said, "Well, this girl left her phone." I said, "Which?" She says, "Well," she explained about her going through her phone with her knuckle.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I didn't know what she was doing. I'm like, that's an odd way of turning your phone.
And then we figured it out who it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you ever need somebody with that characteristic, she knows who it is. But you know, it's interesting. You know, like the other day I didn't get our first pick. We all thought it was going to be our first pick of the dog, and the dog yesterday and the girl yesterday was fantastic. It was our second pick, and it was meant to be. So, you know, things, you know, the cards fall the way they fall. You know, everything, we survived. Everything's fine. You're going to go through heck, but it's going to be fine. But just try your best to give the director what he wants, and it just makes your job easier, even though it is completely stupid. Just do it anyway. And then somehow you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like the other day, the camera operators, we need a crane, it goes faster. And I'm like going, yeah, right. It was faster. I was like, oh my God, it actually is faster. So, I mean, I was like, whatever. I was like, just put it on Steadicam and go like this. It'll be faster than a big techno crane going like this. But it was actually faster with a techno crane. So I was like, all right. I ate my words. So we learn every day, even with the experienced ones, you know. And it's hard to not notice that because you're here and you're not out there, or you're not in the room listening to all the little details. Then, you know, like, why do they need to picture pick people in the dark? There's got to be a reason. Maybe he did a show where it was nothing but whatever in the room, and that's why he or she has, I've got a picture pick. You know, there's usually a root to it. We don't know. But once they get, I'm telling you, once you establish those relationships, it makes your job so much easier. Do whatever it takes to become buddies with us, and then you'll get what you need.
So, I'm Josh.
Hi, Josh. Nice to meet you.
With building relationships with the second and the first season, when you have TV, it could be a new director every episode.
Yeah.
So is our relationship with you, is that able to be reflected to the
Yes.
directors? So we can trust that they can book it?
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Because I'll go in a room. Oh, I've worked with Elena. You are so set. You're going to get everything you need. I've worked with Jeff. No problem. You know, no problem. Yeah. Trust me. Because once they know that I'm like I worked on a show and the UPM hired a makeup and hair person that they hadn't worked on. I'm like, I've done 3 shows with these people. You guys are so set. And they're like, yeah. And going to those meetings and saying hi, you know, and exuding that confidence, like, I got you, I hear you, I got you. You know what I mean? We're going to get you what you need. You know, we're going to die trying. You know what I mean? Then they're like, all right, cool. All right, well then I need to, you know, people just need to be reassured, you know. Yes. Anybody else?
Can I piggyback on that for a second?
Yeah.
Just for that, one of the beauties of working in TV also, though, is that those directors hop from show to show to show to show to show. So you can wind up with that same director on, like, you know, one show one week, one show the next week. And if you get to know that director, all of a sudden you walk in and they're like, why are you even here? I'm like, you wanted a meeting with me.
Yeah.
And they're like, I just didn't recognize the name. We're good. Go
We're
home.
good. Yep. That is so true. That is so true. So true.
I had to interview for, I think we had to go to an interview for pitch or something like that.
Mhm.
And I walked in the room and Paris Barkley was like, why are you here? I'm like, because you said you didn't know us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like, obviously I know you. We just did like 3 seasons of Sons of Anarchy. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
get to know my name. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had to drive down there.
Yeah. And then you can talk to them like that, and then they'll be like, then that'll be just a show that you just book, and then you have to deal with the other 6 shows that you have to baby. No, but that's true. No, it's so true. So true. So true. Yeah.
He
This
ruined
business.
Marianne's stardom.
Yeah, and he knows every time I see him.
Look at that. Look at
Now
that.
you're like hipster.
Yeah, and you know what? I noticed that the combination of the union and non-union, when you team up with somebody, however they pair you up, I could tell the team strengths and weaknesses. And there's never really weakness, because but I mean, I could tell, when you work better with this person than you work than this person, or the contact, the flow. Like, if Elena's out to lunch, I know if Marianne answers the phone, I feel like I'm getting the answer from Elena. You know what I mean? That type of thing is what I'm saying. Like, I feel confident that what Marianne's telling me is good, because she and Elena, I've worked with them a couple of times, and I know that they know each other's flow and yada yada. You know what I mean? Hopefully you understand what I mean when I say that. Anyway. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Any other things? Ask me. I'm an open book. Or you could see me outside and I could talk to you off the record. You just get my number from one of the guys, and you can always call me 24/7. If I'm busy, I'll just call you back later. But if you ever or want to come visit a set, if you're free and you just want to see how a set flows, I'll get you on there, no problem. I'll just say, oh, she's a background, she's just watching. It's all good. But I've been so pleased with the way Central Casting has handled every show that I've been on, and that's since 1996. As a union person, me dealing with background. You guys, you deliver every time, and that, I know it comes from each and every one of you guys. So just keep doing your job. I know it gets crazy. Just try to find your happy place outside of work, and just go with the flow. You're going to work with nice people, and you're going to work with jerks. But you know what? You're going to find out you're going to end up liking the jerks, because once you understand their thinking, then it's not so bad. The key is just figuring out the person on the other side of that phone, when you've got 10 other people wanting the same thing from you too. So it's like you're a mom to 8 kids with issues. So lots of issues. So, but you guys are going to be amazing. Whatever it is, your career path, you're going to learn a lot, especially glean from the ones that have done it a lot, been around the block. They just know for years. They know how to do it. They know how to talk to us. I'm telling you, every time I start a show, my first question, if one of the first 2 questions is, who's casting? Because that makes my job bearable or not bearable. When day playing, oh, is this Central? No. I'm like, okay, thank you for the work. So I appreciate everything that you guys do. So, yes.
Can you tell just a little bit about what your day is like? Because I know that there's such a sense of urgency all the time when we're over here, that we hear in your voice, or we hear in Aggie's voice, and kind of just give us an understanding of what maybe a typical day.
Sure.
Why it's so urgent.
Sure. Let's say, for example, I'm a key second on a show that I've been on for a while, and I don't have a strong team in terms of support team. I tend to come in way earlier than my call time. If my call, if the first actor is 5:30, I'm probably there at 4:45 in the morning, just to make sure everything's okay. You know what I mean? And then things start happening, and then I get wardrobe. I'm ready to see the cops. Props is like, I'm ready to prop them over here. Oh, by the way, they can't put their guns on until they can't leave the holding room with their guns. Okay, no problem. All right, makeup is like, he needs a haircut. He has a tattoo. Okay, no problem. It's like, you know, 3 people are no-shows, 3 people are missing. Okay, no problem, no problem, no problem. This is all before 5 a.m., you know. You know what I mean? You're like, no problem, no problem, no problem. By the time I'm on the phone with you at 9 or 10, I'm like, you know what I mean? And then I'm stressed because the UPM won't give me an answer. You know, just tell me, are we starting with this scene or this scene? And I'm hearing, well, we got to see because we're of the budget. Props is over budget. Oh, that just means you're going to knock us down to 20 background. You know, it's like that. So every time I'm talking to you, the layers of what's going on in my head is like, you have no idea. I just want it to be easy too. You know what I mean? And it's just stuff like that. It's just stuff like that. Or we're multitasking. If you ever try to have a conversation with us, we're always like, oh, I had to, you're like, was she talking to me? What? I'm going to make up what? Oh, like, no, that was for Brad. Oh, okay. Okay, you know what I mean? So we're usually just doing 10 things at the same time. We're trying to get answers in a timely manner, because something about second ADs, we know all the departments, what they're doing, because our job is like a nucleus to the cell, but they only see their thing. You know what I mean? Or the UPM's behind in their office and everything's fine, and they've had their Starbucks. And, you know what I mean? And they drive a Lexus to work, which works, you know, and then I'm like tired. I've been up for 7 hours. And they're like, oh my God, I had to work since 8 last night. I'm like, please, you know what I mean? But that's usually the reason why we're so hurried, is because we've been amped up, and we're the ones that get all the problems. Makeup's not happy, wardrobe's not happy, props is not happy, the grips. The office never sent the call sheet to my guy, and now he's lost. I'm like, okay, no problem. And I'm talking to the production office, you need to send him, here's the email. Okay, no problem. Okay, hey, you need to go to makeup. I'll make sure that he gets a haircut, make sure he covers his tattoo. That's why. We're crazy. We're the center. That's why usually people are second ADs for maybe only 3 or 4 years, and they bump up to first because they're like, oh, we don't want to be. You talk to all the PAs. Oh, I want to be a first. You want to be a key? Oh, no. They're trying to jump over it. I'm like, well, it'll be a better first if you've been a key. But, yeah, we're usually insane like that, but it's because we've been bombarded, and it depends on the strength or weaknesses of the people around me determine my stress level. Yeah, the first AD can be lazy, which makes my job harder, which makes, because I'm trying to get all the questions that should have been answered 2 weeks ago, you know, before I was being put on to the show. So it depends. So what I mean by lazy, sometimes lack of experience, or they've gotten a crutch with someone and then they get into a bad habit. All I can say is work hard. Don't try to coast through it, because trust me, in the long run, you'll be better for it. You'll be called all the time. It's like saying the nice actress, you can be a diva, but then you're not going to get the next show because word in town is going to be, you know, the exception. There are exceptions in the business, but if you're the nice person, all of a sudden you're just under that radar, and you're just always being called. People know that you're steady, that you're the rock. You're not going to give us the problems. You're going to give us the solutions. You're gonna be our safety blanket. I know I don't have to worry about background because they've got it. They got it. They get me. They know what he wants, and they're ready for anything that they're going to be thrown at. You know, at least they'll try their best, and that's usually all we ask. Because sometimes they ask you for crazy stuff, deep down knowing that you're never going to get it for them, and then when you do get it, wow, okay. You know what I mean? Okay. You know what I mean? They just do it. They'll ask for the world. It's like directors and producers, or not producers, but directors will ask for the world. I want this, and this. And then, of course, they get this, the reality with the budget and the situation or whatever. So sometimes we're going to, in the beginning, ask you for crazy stuff, and then all of a sudden, never mind, yeah. And you're just like, I just spent 3 days trying to find this person for you, and you know, you're saying, never mind? You know what I mean? Just hold it in your back pocket, because we'll change our mind and want it again, you know. But they see that you can deliver, you know. That's important. Yes?
What would you like the casting directors to convey to background before they come to set? What would be an important thing for you to convey to background?
I think just constantly reassuring them that don't just phone it in. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm working on San Pedro today, and I'm no, just, every day is you got a job over the other 10,000 people in our system. You know what I mean? You're working. You can actually buy another Christmas present this year. It's just giving that sense of, yes, their job is important. And even though they may not get that on the set necessarily sometimes, but constantly reassuring them that they are valuable, and it matters if they're on time. It matters if they take that extra 10 minutes to iron a shirt. They're never going to notice. We notice. The wardrobe people notice. Everybody notices. They notice. Every department notices something about them. And it just that they're valuable. They're important. And it's important to come on time. It's important to be a team player. It's important to, when we say I need 5 background, that you're not sitting there like this, totally ignoring the AD that's asking you to come to set. I can't tell you how many times. And I'll be like, you know what? I teach at Central. I know all those casting. They're like, oh, and they get up and move. I'll throw that out at them sometimes, like, don't be misbehaving. I'll tattletale on you. Not that I will, but, And they're like, but you know what I mean? Just like, don't, when an AD asks you to do something, unless it's a safety concern, just do it. Just, guys, we're ready for you on set. Listen to the ADs. Don't wait to be invited 4 times. You know what I mean? That thing. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Any last questions?
Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
You're sure. It's your chance. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
Love you too.
Thank you,
Love you
guys.
too.